What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Mr. Nice Guy. We're starting things out here a little strange because we're coming to you. As you can see, we're at the end of the 2024 season. Alabama sits kings of college football once again as national champions, defeating Ohio State 21-3. This series, we're starting out at the beginning of the 2025 offseason, or 2024 offseason, however you want to look at it. But first and foremost, let's go back and see how this Alabama team got to where they are now. The season started out really well. The very first game of the Keelan DeBoer era looked fantastic. 42-14 win over Western Kentucky. The teams played really well. The offense played really well. 474 total yards, mostly on the ground, rushing the ball. 269 yards through the air, passing, including 3 touchdowns through the air. Looked good. Looked like things were great. We had a little pressure on our quarterback, but it wasn't too bad. Move on to the next week. USF comes to town, and they, once again, take us down to the wire. The completions, attempts, and all that are messed up here, but once again, 94 yards on the ground, 171 passing. We did have 3 turnovers, fumble, 2 interceptions, and not as good. Move on to the next week. We go up to Big Ten country to face Wisconsin. Come out of there with a win, just barely. The defense really helping us standing tall there, but the offense sputtering a little bit. We had a bye week and then went into our big matchup with Georgia, where we absolutely demolished them in Tuscaloosa, 43-17, and things started to look really good. We went on the road next week up to Vanderbilt. 28-10, still not great, not what we would expect. You know, you could flip these scores and they would make more sense. We faced South Carolina, still had problems, and the biggest problems in all these games that we saw was continuing pressure on the quarterback. Our offensive line just could not block. Then it all came to a head when we went up to Tennessee. Jalen Milroe in the South Carolina game had to get benched due to his wear and tear just being through the roof. Severe risk of injury. He had lost so many attributes, just wasn't doing well. We sat him for the Tennessee game and let Ty Simpson get in and play, but it was the same story again and again. More pressure on our quarterback, and we ended up losing. It was at that point we made the decision that we had to do something different, that this offense, this multiple offense, spread options just was not going to work for this Alabama team, and specifically for the offensive line. There's some big bruisers on offensive line, so we started taking a look at a few things. And we came to the conclusion that the best thing we could do with our depth at running back, with the big bruisers we had on the offensive line, was to go to a more under-center, pro-style offense and then lean on our defense to get us where we needed to be. There was a little shuffling on the offensive line. Caden Proctor was starting at left tackle, but his size at 360 pounds and his strength made him a much better fit at the right tackle position. Our right tackle was smaller, a little more agile, so we flipped the two. So right tackle goes to left to be the pass blocker, and then we put Caden Proctor on the right to help in the running game. We made some changes with the tight ends, specifically at their second tight end spot. Our starting tight end was pretty good. He could block, but he could also catch. Our number 2 tight end at the time was much more of a pass catcher, vertical threat kind of guy. Behind him was a young man who was a better blocker. We flipped those two to make sure that we had the best blockers on the field that we could get. Our next game after that was Missouri. It was a little shaky, 17-10. It was a hard-fought game. We got the win thanks to our defense. Bye week, we had a little time to rest, a little recuperate. We also put Jalen Milroe back in the starting role against Missouri. Then at LSU, we had to go down to Baton Rouge, down to Death Valley for a night game. Once again, it was a hard-fought game. Going up against a 3-9 team, we should have done better. But once again, the defense came up big, and we got the win 21-10. Defense coming up big with turnovers in that game. UL Monroe gave us the opportunity to really start to work with that offense and kind of find our balance in it. UL Monroe was also the game where we decided to let Jam Miller become the starter again. When we made the switch to this pro-style offense with Missouri, we had put Justice Haynes in to start. Earlier in the season, when we were doing more spread and just spreading the field out, it was Richard Young who was getting more playing time as the third down back. But it was the UL Monroe game that we decided Jam Miller should start, with Justice Haynes being the power back. 42-6, Jam Miller had a pretty good day. Justice Haynes still had a good day. and we found ourselves a little rhythm in this offense. Then we went to Oklahoma. Defense still stood strong. Offense, very efficient. We were able to control the game. Then the final game of the season against the Auburn Tigers. As always, it was a hard battle, but once again, you see the offense starting to ramp up here. Now we're really starting to find our rhythm in this pro-style offense. We got the bye week. We made it to the SEC championship game. Our first trip to Atlanta. Remember that, first trip to Atlanta. And we faced off against number 4 Texas, who had a phenomenal offense. At the time, they were ranked 1, we were ranked 2. But our offense, once again, started to find that rhythm, started to play well. All through this season, we had a player on defense who was lighting up the scoreboard with his sacks. He's an outside linebacker that, we're unable to really edit and change positions in the season, but we had him playing at rush defensive end, rush right end, going against the left tackle, and he was lighting the board up. At this point, when we reached to the SEC championship game, he was in front for the Heisman Trophy. And he got himself a couple of sacks in the SEC championship game. We got ourselves a win. And the very next week, he's awarded the Heisman Trophy, among multiple other awards. Then we move on to the playoffs. We got a first-round bye, so we go to the next week. We're facing off against Utah. Where else but the Peach Bowl? We're back in Atlanta. Utah is coming in with Cameron Rising, a really superstar quarterback, but we're able to completely shut them out. The offense, it was a bit of a battle and dragging out against Utah, but we're able to get the win 17-0. And then we faced Cinderella, Appalachian State. And what better place for us to face them but in Dallas? The last time Alabama was in a semifinal game and faced off against a Cinderella team was in Dallas. We're able to shut down Appalachian State's offense. Their defense is middle of the road. Our offense was able to get things going. But let me tell you one thing. 20 of those points are offensive points. 14 of those points came from pick sixes by the same player. Dominique Jackson, our starting corner, had 2 pick sixes in this game. Gave Alabama an additional 14 points, and we ended 34-7. And then where do we go for the national title? Right back to Atlanta, right back to Mercedes-Benz, or as many call it now, East Tuscaloosa. And we finish it off with a 21-3 victory over Ohio State. Will Howard and their high-powered offense could do nothing against our defense, nothing against our Heisman Trophy winning pass rusher, and Alabama walked away with a 21-3 victory. It was an up-and-down season. It was real rocky to start, and we made that tough decision to change the offensive play style, our offensive mentality. And it took a couple of weeks, but then we found our rhythm. The defense continued to be strong. That 4-2-5 defense brought to us by Coach Warmack from South Alabama. And here we sit at the end of the season, national champions. Give you an opportunity here to look at the stats. Jalen Milroe's stats a little underwhelming, but the first part of the season was very rough for him. And then when we made the switch to the pro style, he wasn't throwing the ball as much until we started to find our rhythm. Once we started to find our rhythm, he started to put up some numbers again. Jam Miller, even though he didn't get the start, didn't really play the big starting role until that Louisiana Monroe game, still able to put up over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. There's Justice Haynes, our short yard in within 20 yards, goal line man, putting up 16 rushing touchdowns. Wide receivers, a little underwhelming, but so was our quarterback play. But the defense is where it's all told. Shaheed Campbell, who I haven't talked about yet, came up to be big. We put him in as our sub linebacker. He played the majority of downs, 81 total tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and 4 interceptions for the junior. Hopefully we can convince him to come back next year and lead this defense. Keon Saab, our starting strong safety, also had a great year, 3 interceptions, 11 tackles for loss, 79 total tackles. Malachi Moore, who we wave goodbye to as he heads off to the league finally getting his opportunity to go make some real money in the National Football League, had a phenomenal year. No interceptions for him, but a lot of really key tackles and big gains. Deontay Lawson, another junior linebacker who hopefully should be back next year, but this is the man of the year. The man of the year, Keanu Cahoot, the left outside linebacker that we had playing at rush end, because that's what he fits in our 4-2-5. 57 total tackles, 37 tackles for loss, and 22 sacks. The biggest story about that, the biggest thing about that, is there were 3 games earlier in the season that we switched him out with another pass rusher who had better numbers, who looked like he was more athletic. So Keanu Cahoot, in our 16 games, he actually only played 13 of those games and still got us 22 sacks. Phenomenal season. Devontae Smith here, hybrid strong safety. In the 4-2-5, that fifth defensive back that you have on the field is your backup strong safety. That was Devontae Smith. Another great season from him. Here's the man of the playoffs, Dominique Jackson, another junior, another potential player coming back next year. 4 interceptions, 2 of those went to the house for touchdowns. Overton, whom we had playing on the other side, a redshirt junior out of Milton, Georgia, with 11.5 sacks. We come further down here, we have Hunter Osborne, who started as a speed rusher out there, 9 sacks for him. A lot of great players coming back next year, hopefully. We'll have to see how that goes, but now it is time to get into the offseason. Currently, we sit with the number 1 recruiting class. Pro Potential's down. Coach Prestige is down. I don't know how Coach Prestige went down. We just won the national championship. No risk of players transferring right now. LT Overton, SEC Defensive Player of the Week. 2 sacks there against Ohio State. LT Overton, National Defensive Player of the Week with his 2 sacks. Jam Miller getting the Player of the Week for the SEC. And National Player of the Week for Jam Miller, who's also a junior and should be coming back this coming season. Top stories, we can look at staff moves. Have we lost our guys? Does not appear so. Defensively, we may have lost our defensive. Nope, doesn't appear so. And so, end of the season recap. Here we go. We come back to our Heisman winner. And there he is. Keanu Cahoot won the Heisman. At the time, he had 17 sacks. Got some more sacks as we went into the offseason. There's your Heisman Trophy winner, ladies and gentlemen. I won't go through all the other awards. Our center won a couple of awards. Cahoot obviously won some more awards. And our punter ended up as the National Punter of the Year award. So we come here to players leaving. Let's take a look. Jalen Milroe projected to go in the first round. Extremely low that we would get him back. You know, we have 10 persuasion. Let's see if we can persuade him to come back. It failed. So we bid farewell to Jalen Milroe as he heads off to the league. We didn't give him the best final year here at Alabama, but, you know, he did pretty well. Let's see if we can get Booker to come back. Extremely high chance he's coming back and staying. And then we've got Durant Basher wanting to leave due to playing style. A very high chance to convince him to come back, but I believe I'm going to let him go. Malachi Moore also projected in the first round. Not a lot of players leaving. Look at this. Not a lot of players leaving. And we've convinced the young man here to stay. We bid farewell to Jalen Milroe. A really great career at Alabama. Had some highs and lows, but he heads off. Projected first round. And we're going to let Basher, the wide receiver, go. So we go here and take a look at our draft results. We do have 2 players drafted in the first round, Jalen Milroe and Malachi Moore. Look at Malachi Moore. What a career in Alabama. Great player. Happy to see him get his chance to shine in the league. So we come here, transfer portal, off-season recruiting. Only got 4 guys left there. You see we've got one heck of a recruiting class. At this point, let's go to the transfer portal. We want to take a look and see who is here. Got a couple of really good players here. This is a transfer junior, Patrick Payton, speed rusher. from Florida State. Good opportunity to land him there. We've got another speed rusher here, 6'1", 246 out of Louisiana Tech. I believe we will go after Mr. Payton. We have a power rusher here out of Florida State. We'll go after him as well. Garrett Nussmeier, field general from LSU. Looks like he wants to come to Alabama. My, oh my. Caleb Downs. Oh, hello, Caleb. Do you want to come home? Caleb Downs, a 5-star who transferred to Alabama, from Alabama to Ohio State, wanting to return. We'll definitely give him a look. Definitely a potential opportunity there. The big question becomes, do we go after Garrett Nussmeier? Do we go after Garrett Nussmeier? Let's take a look at any state. Let's look at all the prospects that are up there. Got this right tackle from LSU. He definitely wants to come. 6'6", 322. It's a possibility. It's a need. Corner from Washington is interested in coming. We've got a route runner here. Let's take a look at Garrett Nussmeier. Why not? We do the pro potential for this young man here. Championship contender for that young man there. Schedule a visit here. Why not? Athletic facilities, welcome. Pretty well in the lead here. Playing time, we're at an A+ for him. So let's add to this class. Caleb Downs, I really want to get him back. I'm going to throw him a scholarship. We are going to send the house. And we're going to schedule a visit for him week 3. Well, I'm going to hold off on scheduling the visit. Let's DM that player. Each one of these guys I'm interested in getting to come to Alabama. We're not going to now. What I do want to take a look at is Garrett Nussmeier. He's going to be a transfer junior. He looks really good. A lot of great abilities. We can bring him in to compete with Ty Simpson. I think it's worth it. Playing time for him is a D+, though. But to take him away from LSU would be great. Let's come back up here, make sure we've got the hours on all of our guys here that we're going after. There we go. We're going to absolutely just hard sell everybody. We're hard selling everyone up here. Just want to make sure that we get all of our players. We'll just send the house on most of these guys. So we've got 31 of 35 scholarships offered. Let's go back to the transfer portal and let's look at some of these recommended players that we should go after. Right tackle here out of LSU. It might be worth it. I don't know. Here's a left tackle out of Nevada. Power 6'8", 312. Good tight end here out of Charlotte, 6'4", 261. Let's take a look at him. He is a 4-star. Transfer Roman Hemby, elusive back out of Maryland. He could be worth a look. We don't have any running backs in our class at the moment. And definitely Jam Miller will be moving on after this season. So definitely worth a look there. Right guard out of Wyoming, 6'3", 313. Definitely worth a look. Got sure hands and wear down. Run blocking's okay. Good awareness, good catching. I like his size at 6'4", 261. Definitely worth a scholarship offer and a send the house. Hamby here. Great speed. Love that speed. Really looks good. I definitely think he's worth bringing in. Or trying to bring in. And Walsh here. Excellent abilities. Love those abilities there. We're going to send the house on him as well. So we're up to 34 of our 35 scholarships. I'm going to hold it there. I want to save some hours. And let's move on to the next week. We've scheduled a few visits. Got our 4-star corner. 3-star tight end. Got our kicker. Pretty good week. So we're coming back to our off season here. A lot of great commits. We're still in the play for this right guard. He's almost there. So Caleb Downs is who we are going after. He wants play style. We have an A+. We're going to go ahead and schedule his visit. We want it week 3. He likes proximity to home too. Who's going after him? Clemson, Auburn. Okay, yeah, we got to do play style. Play style. Come on home, Caleb. All right, so let's go back to our overview. This guy likes championship contender. We're definitely a championship contender. This young man here, once again, likes championship contender. Bring him in week 3. Championship contender. That's what they want, man. That's what they want. We'll go week 4 on Garrett Nussmeier. I want to try to see if we can squeak him in some way. Coach Prestige. He also likes championship contender. You know what? We'll go championship contender. Pro potential. Okay. Actually, let's bring him in on playing style. Coach Prestige here. All right, I think we're set up pretty well. Right guard here. We're still pretty well out in the lead. We should get him wrapped up pretty quickly. Trying to tie up a really awesome recruiting class. We may not get Garrett Nussmeier, but that was more of someone to bring in for competition. Got the right guard. This left end goes ahead and he commits to Georgia. Okay. We're number 2. We're number 2 for Caleb, man. This is his week that he's coming in, though, so... My big push right now is to get Caleb. Clemson has jumped out in front of us. They do not have... He likes playing style proximity to home. Let's try to sell him hard on that. Garrett Nussmeier's pretty set he's going to go to Texas. I mean, this is our opportunity here. He's coming week 4. So we'll kind of stick with where we are with him. Farmer's pushing hard for Ohio State. Champ and program condition. Yeah, so we're just going to have to stick with what we got on him. Weber, he's looking pretty good to Penn State. But we know his hard sell. It's that one right there. Hemby, we're pretty well in the lead. We know all 3 of his, so let's go ahead and flip that to a hard sell. There it is. And then Walsh here, we are second behind Michigan. And we don't know his whole setup. We do have visits scheduled, so this may help us a little bit with some of these guys. A lot of teams. I'm really, really hoping we can land Caleb Downs. It's still a pretty solid fight for him, and we're the only one with a schedule visit. Other than that, we've got a pretty good class put together. We're still pretty far ahead as the number 1 recruiting class. And we're just going to let it ride, man. These guys that we're trying to bring in would be icing on the cake to strengthen the team for next year. Caleb Downs commits. Welcome back to Alabama, Caleb Downs. Hemby, the running back from Maryland. Garrett Nussmeier goes to Texas. He is going to have to battle there with not Eli Manning, but the Manning boy. Weber, the tight end, he goes on to Penn State. Walsh goes to Michigan, and Farmer goes to Ohio State. But we got Caleb Downs, man. Great to have him. Great to have him back to Alabama. He was a phenomenal player. Let's go back here and see what we've got left. Is anything left? No, that's it. That's it. With that, we've got 29 total recruits. That has pushed us far and above anyone else when it comes to the number 1 recruiting class. And so very, very, very excited. Massive XP points for our coach there, getting the number 1 recruiting class. National Signing Day. And yes, we're sitting with the number 1 recruiting class. One of the biggest gets that we have is Caleb Downs coming back to Alabama. He saw the light in that game against Ohio State. He saw how well the defense was and how well Coach Womack's 4-2-5 worked, and he said, I want to be there. Jalen Milroe did go on to the league, so we are left with our QBs here. Austin Mack, Ty Simpson most likely will battle it out for the starting position. Ty Simpson looks pretty good, but Austin Mack with this 98 throw power, definitely not something to to shy away from. We may have the field general here, the young sophomore, start, but we'll have to see how well he grows in the offseason. Jam Miller and Justice Haynes are both back. Hemby comes in. He's a red shirt, though, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to fill in a little bit and help in this running attack and then take over when Jam Miller leaves. We did get a fullback, so we'll roll with that. Wide receivers, 3 great seniors here. Ryan Williams following them up. We did get Walters here, which we'll take a look once we kind of get through all these position changes. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Emmanuel Henderson Jr. here, if I remember correctly, he played as a receiving. He was a running back when he came to Alabama, but we're going to leave him where he's at for right now. Tight end, Lockwood Lewis. Lewis is most likely going to be the starter just because he's got the better blocking powers. And then we picked up several freshmen here to fill out the tight end room as we're doing multiple tight end sets. Left tackle, Caden Proctor. He's going to make the move over to right tackle. Another good power, a couple of power guys here, but we've really got to adjust this line. Pritchett did a pretty good job there as left tackle, so we're going to move him back over to left tackle. We're also going to take, where is he at? There he goes. Our young pass protector. He's going to make a move over to left tackle as well. And that actually bumps him up to a 78 overall. Right tackle, we got a lot of good power guys here. This young man right here actually looks like a pretty good left tackle. And he stays the same at a 78. Come back to left tackle. We'll hold up for a moment on Frumby. We do have a power left tackle here. The true freshman, another power guy there. 6'6", 340 may do well on the interior. Pretty good interior lineman there. A phenomenal center award winner there. Another great right guard there. This young pass protector. Move him out to left tackle. Move this young man into right guard. We've got plenty of offensive line depth, and we've got great offensive linemen here. Actually, this young man, let's move him to right tackle. Yeah, right there at the top. Fit better at right tackle. Gives us lots of really great depth. Okay, so here's where we make the big changes. Overton is going to stay here. Beeman will stay. Thompson is going to move into defensive tackle. Huge upgrade for him. Good run stopper there. We'll keep him there. Jaheim Otis, defensive tackle, all the way. All the way. Fox, he can stay. Fisher, he can stay. Osborne. Fox can move into D-tackle. 2-point increase. Defensive tackle, we're really good. Look at that depth. Cahoot here. Down to right end. That makes him the starter. 85 overall. And now he's got pocket disruptor. Possibility of pocket disruptor. Great to see. He's going to be a senior this year. Keeley, I'm going to move him to left end. Oop. Keeley moves down to left end. Tim Burnett, he actually goes down when he moves, so we'll leave him where he is. Middle linebackers. So our left outside linebacker is an 81. Right outside linebacker, Jaheed Campbell, man, just unbelievable. We've got some good players here. Well, I say good players. We got some players here at outside linebacker. We got some really good players, some good depth here at middle. Walker Smith, we're going to move him to outside. We need some good depth behind Jaheed Campbell. And then some of these young men we're going to move over. Oh, wow, he actually fits better in safety, but we're going to move him over to the left outside linebacker position. Linebacker positions I'm not too worried about. They've got some pretty solid depth. So corners, once again, lots of really good corners here. Good corner depth. I don't think there's anybody we need to move here. Free safety, Caleb Downs comes in as the immediate starter. Now, hear me out. I believe we should take Devontae Smith. He ought to move to free safety. And we're going to move Caleb Downs. Man, he would play so well as a linebacker too. But we're going to actually move Caleb Downs into the strong safety position simply because on our 4-2-5 setup, we'll have both Keon Saab and Caleb. Keon Saab, the All-American, and Caleb Downs would both be on the field in those positions. And then I think we're going to have Caleb Downs be our slot corner. Yeah, with that man zone like that, he's going to play as slot corner. So which means in nickel, he'll be on the field as well. Kicker, we got a 66 overall kicker, and then we've got our punter there. All right, we've got our roster kind of moved around. I'm really happy where it is. Let's go into the next week, and we'll see this player growth. Training results. Here we go. Ty Simpson and Dylan Longren has really climbed up there to try to stake his claim. Let's view the player card on Dylan Longren. He is star development. I don't know. Ty Simpson, impact development. Not as good. Not as good. And then Austin Mack, whom I was hoping would try to step up and really star development as well. Oh boy. And with number 0. What? Dylan Longren, the sophomore. Not a lot of good speed, but we haven't been really running a lot with our quarterbacks. He's got pretty good awareness. His throw power is slightly better. He's got better medium accuracy, slightly down deep. Throw on the run is good. Throw under pressure is not as good. Break sack is better. Play action is better. I believe Dylan Longren has worked his way into being the starting quarterback. Sorry to Ty Simpson, but Dylan Longren certainly looks like, with that star development and also being a sophomore, we'd have him for, well, he could declare for the NFL draft, but we could have him going forward. Justice Haynes has worked his way up to being the higher overall. However, I think Jam Miller is still our primary starting running back. Him be there behind them will be stepping up for Jam Miller once he leaves. Kendrick Law, Ryan Williams, look at that growth there. Star development, deep threat. Ryan Williams has pushed himself into the starting role alongside. Colby Prentice will be playing in the slot. Great plays there. Great. Jalen Hale has moved himself up. Jeremy Bernard, no movement, no work. What happened? We'll find a role for him. Lockwood and Lewis here. I still think Lewis is going to be our starter just with that strength. Well, I don't know. Lockwood's got pretty good strength too. Lewis has got physical attributes though. Who's the better? So impact development. Lockwood comes in with star development. Lockwood is a sophomore, Lewis a junior. We're going to let Lockwood get the start here. He has beefed up his strength a little bit. Looks a little bit better. Whoa! Fromby! Fromby coming out of nowhere. Overtaking Pritchett. Fromby with star development. He's going to be your starting left tackle this coming season. Pritchett to back him up. Normal development. That's what happened there. Look at Fromby. Poe. But Fromby comes up. Look at that. There's your new starting left tackle. Left guard, Booker still holding down that spot. Brailsford won so many awards last year. He's holding down at center. Roberts at right guard. And, of course, right tackle, Caden Proctor holding down that. We've got a hell of an offensive line this season. Overton, look at Keeley trying to step up and earn some playing time. Keeley with impact development, pocket disruptor. And then when we look here, Overton with impact development. Keeley might be the nod to start instead of Overton. Overton, the senior, who had a good season last year, but Keeley, the sophomore, with quick jump and pocket. Oh, my goodness. Cahoot, your Heisman Trophy winner from last year. Still got that quick jump, still star development. It's going to be Cahoot and Keeley next to each other, both with quick jump. That's going to be unbelievable sacks. Cahoot did get the tag for All-American, so that's good to see. Defensive tackles, we got a pair of good tackles here. Fox and Thompson in the middle. Jaheim Otis down here, but these two guys right here, especially inside disruptor, outside disruptor for Delbert Thompson, both underclassmen. And then we've got Otis there to back them up, but a lot of speed at that D tackle spot. Rousseau. Ooh, okay. Rousseau jumping up there at 86 overall. Good to see. 92 for Deontay Lawson. He's coming back strong. Jaheed Campbell coming back for his senior season as he played one heck of a junior season last year. At corner, Dominique Jackson, the hero of the defense in the playoffs, coming back as well. We've got Jammer house call here for Deshaun Jones getting his chance to bump up and start. And then we've got a couple of sophomores here filling out. Free safety, Howard. Oh, hello. Devontae Smith got left in the dust. It's Howard who steps up. Normal development, though. One-star recruit, but somehow climbed his way up to challenge for that starting role. I still think we're going to have Devontae Smith start. Howard is a junior. He's just a little bit slow, and then his man coverage is just not as good. A little bit better on the zone coverage. I don't know why it's giving him a higher overall than Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's star player development, he's going to get the nod to start. And we come to strong safety. Your two strong safeties are going to lead the way in this 4-2-5 defense. Caleb Downs, the guy here, another star development player. And then Keon Saab coming in as a star development player as well. They're both going to get the opportunity to play. Saab here in his senior season. And then Caleb Downs will step down in the nickel and be our corner. Kickers and punters have not improved. Great improvement on this team here. Just phenomenal. Very exciting. Upgrade coaches' skills. We got 10 coins, 10 points we can use. And at this point, we could work on recruiting. But I don't think recruiting is what we're going to do. We're going to keep working on tactician. And continue to improve those boosts. And as we progress forward, we've got a heck of a team, really well put together. We're going to work on our depth chart. So we get to the point of encourage transfers. Quarterback, we're not going to encourage anyone to transfer. However, where did this guy come from? I don't know. We're going to encourage Richard Young to transfer. We brought in Himby. Riley will encourage to transfer as well. Wide receivers where we're going to do a lot. Adams, encourage him to transfer. Hampton, encourage him to transfer. Manuel Henderson Jr. will encourage him to transfer. I think that's it for the moment because we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 seniors there that'll be gone next year. We can't encourage any of our tight ends to transfer. Left tackle Pritchett, we'll go ahead and encourage him to transfer because he just lost out, man. Vandermark will encourage him to transfer. Encourage this right tackle to transfer as well. We're probably going to need a lot of D-tackle help after next season. Cahoot is a senior. We're going to encourage Fisher to transfer. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm actually gonna encourage Cameron Howard to transfer. And Hubbard. Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., I cannot encourage him to transfer. I will encourage King Mack to transfer. We have to encourage 3 more players to transfer. I'll encourage Austin Mack to transfer. Caleb Odom. Ooh, that was tough. Well, we did it. We're down to 85 players. I did not enjoy doing that. But here's what we come to. Here's the big thing that we come to. Do we rebuild the Pac-12? I have done that in the past, and I absolutely love it. I love having the Pac-12 back a part of it, and I think we're going to do it right now. We're going to rebuild the Pac-12. I don't like it. This alignment is unreal. Makes no sense to me. And it's just, no. We should have the Pac-12. The Pac-12 should be here. I mean, I feel bad for the Big 12 because they're going to lose out on a lot of great teams that they've added. But I cannot let this stand. BYU will leave in there. Colorado, I'll actually leave in there. I think Colorado deserves to be in the Big 12. think that's it. At least 14 teams. Oh, Utah, of course. Going to bring Utah back to the Pac-12. All right, then we also have to go to the ACC because let me tell you this. Stanford and Cal being in the ACC makes no sense. No sense at all. Bring them on back. Now, what we do have to figure out, so now we got Arizona, Arizona State, Cal, Oregon. There's USC, UCLA, Stanford, Oregon State, Utah, Washington State, and Washington. Washington and Washington State. We have to find the Pac-12 one more school that is not Colorado. So ACC, we're going to leave them alone. Big Ten, we're back to where they were, 14 teams. The Big 12, we could bring in Brigham Young. They're pretty close to the West Coast, and that would leave the Big 12 at 12 teams instead of 15? No, 13 teams. Nothing from the American, nothing from Conference USA. Independence, no. Mid-American, no. Mountain West would be the only place, but that would take them below 12 teams, and I want to do that. So, yeah, I think that's what we do. Big 12, we're going to take Brigham Young, and we're going to bring them into the Pac-12. That makes more sense to me. And you know what? We'll do like most of the schools are doing. Turn the conference championship game on. Make it no. SoFi Stadium, and then top teams by conference record. They're going to play nine conference games, and then best two teams will go play at SoFi Stadium. That seems reasonable to me. The ACC, I really think maybe they needed to lose one school just to kind of even it out. What are their conference rules? 8 games, Bank of America. I think that's okay. The Big Ten is still set. Their conference rules. No, not 4 conference games. Make it 9. Lucas Oil Stadium. Okay, that works. The Big 12, 9 conference games, AT&T. Let's make everyone play 9 conference games. Yeah, 9. I can't make them play 9, so 8's fun. Eight's fine. Already got the Pac-12 set. We'll switch the SEC to 9 conference games, and the Sun Belt, the only one still divided up into teams. So there we go. We've rebuilt the Pac-12. I feel it's best for college football. It makes more sense. Makes more sense. We're in the preseason now. We'll go ahead and just keep that as part of the postseason or as the preseason. So we got a game here against Wisconsin. Week 0. They're coming to Bryant-Denny. That's okay with me. Florida State, Doak Campbell Stadium. We'll take that. I think at this point, do we have an open? Yeah, we've got a couple of open weeks down here. So at this point, we're going to take this UL Monroe game. Make that a bye week. And we're going to throw a game down here a little further down. We're going to take on South Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and then we'll finish out there. So I think that looks like a good schedule. We've got to face Wisconsin in week 0 because we went up there. They've got to come down here and play us. Playing LSU early in the season. That's interesting. Doak Campbell Stadium against Florida State. I like it. We go to open. Then we go to face Texas. We're going to go we'll face Missouri at home. Georgia, we're headed east to Sanford Stadium. Texas A&M comes to town. So does Florida. Then we have South Alabama coming to town. We'll play off against Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and then finish the year at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That looks like a good schedule to me. Let's go set up our recruiting board. Prospect list. I want to go with top prospects. Speed rusher. That's a good run stopper. We can move him into defensive tackle, which we're really going to need. Strong safety here, hybrid. 100% going to need him. That's a need right there. Need at defensive tackle. Yes, please come. Run stopper at outside linebacker. Good to have you. Another defensive tackle. Good to have you. Couple of quarterbacks here interested in coming to Alabama. How about that? Let's look at the suggested quarterbacks on the list. Couple of scramblers. Lots of scramblers. There's a good field general, 6'6", 232. Let's look at him. Another scrambler. Another scrambler. Another scrambler. Another good field general. We'll take a look at the top scrambler that's looking at us. I don't have a problem with that. Halfback, he's got us rated number 1 overall. You know, we got to go for him. Good speed rushing there. A nice left tackle we can bring in. Another good strong safety. Right outside linebacker that has us rated as number 1. Good power rush outside linebacker we can move down to the defensive end position. So now we're going to look at players that have us rated number 1. It's an agile guy we can move to left tackle would be nice. All right, so we got 20 prospects on the board. That's a gem. 100% you get. Another gem. Another gem. Keep throwing these guys, man. We're going to keep throwing them scholarships. As long as anyone is a 5-star and not a bust, we will absolutely throw a scholarship at them. All right, so this is a field general. 93 throw power, 88 short, 83 mid, 82 awareness, 82 deep. Speed is a 79. Got a lot of good mentals, good play action. 6'6" and 232. I love it. Throw him a scholarship. .92 throw power, 87, 81, 88. Where's his deep? We don't see the deep. Speed is an 84. Lot of good traits, so we'll throw him a scholarship as well. Five-star halfback, good receiving back, lots of speed, lots of mentals, lots of good abilities. We'll throw him a scholarship. Good 5-star defensive tackle that is not a bust. You get a scholarship. 5-star left tackle looks really good. Throw him a scholarship. 5-star strong safety scholar. Now we're starting to get into the guys that have us rated as number 1. No immediate commit there. That's a little disappointing. There's a gem. Not an immediate commit. Damn. Come on now. Pretty good running back here. Power back. Decent speed. Strength looks really good. Not an instant commit. The right tackle here, not an instant commit. One last one, no instant commit. Okay, so at this point, we got 460 hours left. I want to sort. Let me do a search, not sort. And we want anyone that has us rated as a top school. Athlete here is a scrambling quarterback. Not interested. Good run stopper. Well, look at him. Left guard, agile. No, thank you. Right tackle, agile at 6'7" and 320. Yes. Here's a decent looking free safety. Yes. 6'5", 321, run stopping D tackle. No, doesn't really fit us. Hybrid free safety. Yes. Another free safety. No. Right tackle, agile at 6'7", 320. We'll take that. Yes. Another good agile right tackle. Pass coverage outside linebacker. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through these guys here. We're going to scout them. Make sure there's no bust, and we're going to throw them a scholarship offer. Just seeing if we can land one of those elusive instant commits. There's a gem. No instant commit. Instant commit. There we go. So we got an instant commit from a right tackle. One more opportunity here for an instant commit. No instant commit. So at this point, we're going to search and we'll look at top schools, minimum 3-star recruits. We're going to take a look at some of these 3-stars. There's a man-to-man guy. We'll take that. A couple of corners there. Run stopper at outside linebacker, yes. And another middle linebacker there. Pass coverage left outside linebacker, yes. It's like a couple of linemen there. So these are 3-star recruits that we're looking at just to see if perhaps we can land ourselves an instant commit. That's a gem 3-star guy. No instant commit. At this, we're just going to throw scholarships at these guys. There's another instant commit. Left outside linebacker. Another instant commit. So we've got ourselves 3 commits so far. And with that, we're going to end our recruiting. These 20 guys at the top, they're going to be our absolute number one top guys as we get into the regular season. We do have a week 0 game coming up. A few players here reach their top schools. But I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it here at this point. We're at week 0. We are going to take on Wisconsin here in Tuscaloosa, so we do get an early season game to play to get in front of the crowd. When we come back next time, we're going to take a look at our depth chart. We're going to build the depth chart, see who's going to be our starters for week 0, not week 1. And we're just going to see what this team is going to look like this year. It's going to be an interesting thing at quarterback to see who starts. But till then, it's your buddy, it's your pal, Mr. Noise Guy. Thanks for watching.